In the heart of the eastern mountains, shrouded in mist and whispers of ancient wisdom, lay the secluded village of Dharmapala. Its name meant protector of Dharma, and the villagers lived up to this name. Life in Dharmapala was governed not by rulers or laws, but by an unwavering understanding of karma, the universal law of cause and effect. It was said that in Dharmapala, karma revealed its workings more transparently than anywhere else in the world. Acts of kindness bore visible rewards, while selfishness and harm quickly returned to the doer. This phenomenon drew seekers from distant lands, all hoping to witness the purity of karma's dance and learn from its lessons. The village itself was a marvel of harmony and simplicity. Its cobblestone streets wound around humble homes, adorned with intricate carvings of lotus flowers and spiraling vines. Each morning, the air was filled with the sound of chanting as villagers gathered at the grand temple on the hill. The temple's golden spire pierced the clouds, a beacon of spiritual clarity for miles around. At the heart of the temple, on a hill overlooking the valley, stood Master Kalpa. Revered as both a monk and a teacher, Master Kalpa had spent decades delving into the mysteries of karma. He was known not just for his wisdom, but for his extraordinary gift of storytelling. His parables had the power to transform hearts and inspire change, their lessons lingering in the minds of his listeners like the echo of a temple bell. Master Kalpa's teachings attracted people from all walks of life. Scholars came seeking philosophical truths, farmers yearned for practical guidance, and wanderers arrived burdened with questions about their fates. Each found solace and direction in his words. Yet Master Kalpa was no miracle worker. He always insisted that transformation began within the seeker, and his role was merely to illuminate the path. One day, a young man named Kavi arrived in Dharmapala, his presence heralding the start of a journey that would ripple through the village and beyond. Kavi's life had been a series of hardships, each blow harder than the last. Disillusioned and desperate, he sought answers to questions that had haunted him for years. Why did misfortune cling to him so relentlessly? Was he cursed? Or was there a deeper truth to his suffering? As Kavi approached the temple, he felt an inexplicable pull, as though an invisible thread had guided him to this place. Master Kalpa, seated beneath the shade of a centuries-old Bodhi tree, watched the young man's arrival with quiet anticipation. His keen eyes, which seemed to hold the wisdom of countless lifetimes, twinkled with recognition. "Welcome, traveler," the monk said, his voice a harmonious blend of kindness and authority. "What brings you to Dharmapala?" Kavi hesitated, clutching the worn strap of his satchel. He was not accustomed to sharing his struggles with others, but there was something disarming about the old monk. "Master," he began, his voice faltering, "I have come seeking answers. My life has been nothing but hardship. Despite my efforts, I seem to fail at every turn. Why does life punish me so?" Master Kalpa regarded him thoughtfully, as though weighing the young man's very soul. "You have come to the right place, Kavi. But answers will not come as easily as questions. If you are willing to learn, I will guide you. Karma is a dance, and to master it, one must first learn the steps." And so began Kavi's journey into the heart of karma. The road ahead was neither simple nor short, but it promised transformation. Under the guidance of Master Kalpa, Kavi would uncover the truths hidden within his own actions, intentions, and the threads of his destiny. He would face challenges that tested not only his understanding of karma, but also his very identity. Along the way, he would encounter others in Dharmapala, each with their own karmic lessons to share, and together they would weave a tapestry of stories that revealed the profound interconnectedness of all lives. This is the story of Kavi, Master Kalpa, and the village of Dharmapala. It is a tale of struggle, enlightenment, and the enduring quest to master the invisible forces that shape our existence. In the mist-shrouded mountains of the East, where karma's dance is said to unfold most vividly, one man's journey would illuminate truths that resonate across the fabric of human life. And so, the story begins. Kavi arrived in Dharmapala, carrying little but a satchel of worn-out clothes and a heart burdened with questions. His life had been marked by hardship and frustration. Despite his tireless efforts, misfortune seemed to follow him like a shadow. Why does life punish me so? He wondered. He had heard whispers of Dharmapala's mysteries and decided to seek Master Kalpa, hoping to unravel the threads of his tangled fate. When Kavi reached the temple, he found Master Kalpa seated under a Bodhi tree, surrounded by villagers. The old monk's eyes twinkled with the serenity of 1,000 lifetimes. Sensing Kavi's arrival, he beckoned him forward. "Master," Kavi began hesitantly, "I have come seeking answers. Why does my life seem cursed? Despite my best efforts, nothing ever goes right." Master Kalpa studied him for a moment before responding. "Tell me, young one, when you plant a seed, do you expect it to sprout immediately?" "No, Master," Kavi replied. "And if the soil is barren or the seed damaged, will it grow at all?" Kavi shook his head. "No, Master, it would not." "So it is with karma," the monk said, his voice calm but firm. "Your actions are seeds. The soil is your mind, your intentions. If you plant without care or nurture, how can you expect a bountiful harvest?" Kavi frowned, his confusion evident. "But how can I change the soil of my past? Surely I am doomed by the seeds I have already sown." Master Kalpa's expression softened, and he gestured for Kavi to sit. "You are not doomed, young one. The soil can be tilled, the weeds removed, and new seeds planted, but this requires patience, awareness, and effort. Tell me more of your life. From where does your suffering arise?" Kavi hesitated, but found himself opening up to the monk. He spoke of his childhood, marked by poverty and loss. He described his struggles to find work, the betrayals he had endured, and the constant feeling that his efforts were in vain. As he poured out his story, the villagers around them listened silently, their faces reflecting understanding and compassion. Master Kalpa nodded slowly. "Your pain is not unique, Kavi, though it feels so. Many here have walked similar paths. Karma does not punish, nor does it reward. It reflects. It mirrors the energy and intention of your actions. If you wish to change your reflection, you must change your actions." "But how?" Kavi's voice cracked with desperation. "How do I undo years of mistakes and pain?" "One step at a time," Master Kalpa replied gently. "Stay here in Dharmapala. Observe the ways of the villagers. Listen to the lessons I teach. With time, the answers will come." For the first time in years, Kavi felt a glimmer of hope. The monk's words were not a solution, but they were a beginning. He agreed to remain in Dharmapala, and the villagers welcomed him warmly, offering him a place to stay and food to eat. That night, as he lay under the open sky, Kavi felt the weight of his burdens begin to lift. The journey ahead would be long, but he was no longer alone. The next day, Kavi joined the villagers in their morning rituals. He observed their harmony, their kindness, and their unwavering faith in the principles of karma. He watched as they helped one another without expectation of reward, their actions guided by a deep understanding of interconnectedness. Slowly, he began to see the first threads of a new perspective forming in his mind. Master Kalpa, true to his word, began to guide Kavi with teachings woven into everyday moments. When a child fell and was comforted by her mother, the monk pointed out the ripples of compassion. When a farmer shared his harvest with a struggling neighbor, Kalpa spoke of the seeds of generosity. Each lesson, though simple, carried profound wisdom, and Kavi found himself reflecting deeply on his own choices. One evening, as the sun dipped below the mountains, Kavi approached Master Kalpa with a question. "Master, if karma reflects our actions, then what of those who seem to thrive despite their cruelty? What of those who suffer despite their kindness?" The monk's gaze turned to the horizon, where the sky blazed with hues of gold and crimson. "Karma is not bound by time, Kavi. Its threads weave through lifetimes, connecting moments across the vast tapestry of existence. What you see as injustice is but a fragment of a greater whole. Trust in the unfolding and focus on your own threads." Kavi nodded, though his heart still wrestled with doubt. Yet as the days turned to weeks, he found himself changing. His anger softened, his despair gave way to curiosity, and his actions became more deliberate. The restless seeker had begun to take root, like a seed in fertile soil, nurtured by the wisdom of Dharmapala and the gentle guidance of Master Kalpa. Master Kalpa's first teaching came in the form of a story. "Listen well, Kavi, to the tale of Ratan, the farmer," he began. Ratan was a hard-working farmer who toiled day and night, yet his fields remained barren. Frustrated, he accused the gods of cursing him. One day, a wandering monk passed through the village and overheard Ratan's lament. The monk offered to help and asked to see the farmer's tools and seeds. What he found astonished him. The plough was broken, the seeds were mouldy, and the soil was overrun with weeds. "Ratan," the monk said gently, "you blame the heavens, yet you neglect your tools and soil. How can you expect a harvest?" The farmer, humbled, set to work repairing his plough, selecting healthy seeds and clearing the weeds. In time, his fields flourished and his harvest was abundant. "The lesson is simple," Master Kalpa concluded. "You must tend to your mind, your tools, and your intentions. Only then can you reap the fruits of karma." Kavi listened intently, the simplicity of the tale resonating deeply. Yet he could not help but feel there was more to understand. That evening, as the villagers gathered around the temple for their evening prayers, Kavi approached Master Kalpa. "Master," he said hesitantly, "the story of Ratan is clear. But what if the farmer had worked diligently and still seen no results? What if his efforts had been met with drought or flood?" The monk's eyes sparkled with approval at Kavi's question. "Ah, a thoughtful query. Let us consider that scenario. Imagine Ratan had done everything right, prepared his tools, planted good seeds and tended to his fields, but nature still conspired against him. What then?" Kavi nodded eagerly. "Yes, master. What would he do?" "In such a case," Kalpa began, "Ratan must learn the lesson of surrender. Effort is within his control, but the outcome is not. This is the dance of karma, to act with intention and integrity while accepting that some threads are woven by forces beyond our comprehension. Ratan's true harvest, then, lies not in the crops, but in the growth of his patience, resilience, and faith." Kavi pondered this deeply. The idea of surrender was foreign to him, yet it stirred something within. The days that followed brought further lessons, as Master Kalpa encouraged him to engage in the village's activities. Kavi worked alongside farmers, observing their dedication and their calm acceptance of the season's whims. He helped repair tools, plant seeds, and clear weeds, each task a meditation in its own right. One afternoon, as he worked in the fields, an elderly farmer named Arun shared his story with Kavi. "There was a time," Arun began, "when I cursed the skies for my misfortune. I blamed the rains when they were too heavy, the sun when it scorched my crops. But then I realized my anger only added to my burden. It did nothing to change the weather, so I learned to focus on what I could do and to accept what I could not." Arun's words echoed Master Kalpa's teachings, and Kavi felt a growing clarity. He began to see the interconnectedness of effort, intention, and acceptance. Each act of tending the fields mirrored the inner work he needed to do to transform his own life. By the end of the harvest season, Kavi had not only learned practical skills, but had also taken significant steps toward understanding the essence of karma. He realized that tending to one's inner soil was a lifelong journey, requiring both diligence and humility. The story of Ratan, the farmer, was no longer just a tale. It had become a living truth within him. As the temple bells rang out one crisp morning, signaling the start of a new chapter in Kavi's journey, he felt a sense of gratitude. He had come to Dharmapala seeking answers, but he was beginning to see that the answers lay in the questions themselves, unfolding like petals in the light of awareness. The season of planting had ended, but the season of learning was far from over. Kavi's journey continued, and with each passing day, the lessons of karma grew clearer, intertwining with the very fabric of his being. The path was long, but it was illuminated by the wisdom of the village, the stories of its people, and the unyielding guidance of Master Kalpa. And so Kavi walked forward, carrying the seeds of transformation within his heart, ready to face whatever seasons lay ahead. In the weeks that followed, Kavi began to understand the depth of karma's influence. Master Kalpa often spoke of the weaver's web, a metaphor for the interconnectedness of all actions. "Imagine a spider weaving its web," the monk said during one of his teachings. "Each strand is a choice, a thought, or an action. Some strands strengthen the web, while others weaken it. The web is your life. What kind of web are you weaving, Kavi?" This question haunted Kavi. He began to reflect on his choices, the moments of anger, greed, and impatience that had shaped his path. He realized that each negative act had left a thread frayed, a gap in the fabric of his life. Determined to change, Kavi adopted the practice of mindfulness. He started observing his thoughts and actions, striving to act with kindness and integrity. It was not easy, but with each deliberate choice, he felt a subtle shift in his being. One afternoon, Master Kalpa gathered the villagers for a demonstration. He held a simple thread in his hand, its ends tied to form a small loop. "This thread represents your life," he explained. "Strong threads bind together to form a web of purpose and connection. Weak threads unravel, leaving holes where meaning is lost. Watch closely." The monk pulled gently at the loop, and the threads tightened into a firm knot. "When your choices align with wisdom and compassion, the web strengthens," he said. Then, with a quick tug, he snapped a strand. The loop unraveled, becoming a tangled mess. "But when your actions are guided by selfishness or neglect, the web weakens." The villagers murmured among themselves, reflecting on the simplicity yet profundity of the demonstration. Kavi, standing among them, felt the weight of his own tangled web. He resolved to rebuild it, strand by strand. Kavi's commitment to weaving a stronger web was tested daily. At first, he struggled to break free from old habits. The smallest inconveniences triggered frustration, and past grievances resurfaced unbidden. Yet every evening he reflected on his day, analyzing the threads he had added or damaged. With time, this nightly ritual became a source of clarity, allowing him to approach each new day with renewed determination. One evening, after a particularly challenging day, Kavi confided in Master Kalpa. "Master," he said, his voice heavy with self-doubt, "I feel as though I'm weaving and unraveling my web in equal measure. For every kind act, I make a mistake that undoes it. Am I making any progress at all?" Master Kalpa regarded him with kind eyes. "Progress is not measured by perfection, Kavi, but by persistence. Even the strongest web requires constant mending. Do not despair in your efforts. Each thread you weave with intention strengthens the whole." Encouraged, Kavi redoubled his efforts. He began to approach each interaction with greater mindfulness, asking himself how his words and actions would affect the greater web of life. This shift in perspective brought unexpected rewards. He found that acts of kindness often inspired others to do the same, creating ripples of positivity that extended beyond his immediate reach. Kavi also learned the importance of repairing frayed threads. When he hurt someone, whether intentionally or not, he sought to make amends. One such incident involved a young boy named Ravi, whom Kavi had scolded harshly for accidentally spilling water on his belongings. Realizing his mistake, Kavi apologized and spent the afternoon helping Ravi carry water from the well. The boy's forgiveness felt like a balm to Kavi's soul, and their bond grew stronger as a result. As the weeks turned into months, Kavi began to notice subtle changes within himself. His patience grew, his temper cooled, and his heart felt lighter. He started seeing the weaver's web not just as a metaphor, but as a tangible reality. Every choice, no matter how small, was a thread in the intricate tapestry of his life and the lives of those around him. Master Kalpa deepened Kavi's understanding by sharing stories of others who had struggled to weave their own webs. One such tale was of Amara, a potter whose life had been marked by loss and hardship. Despite her challenges, Amara found solace in her craft, pouring her emotions into the clay she shaped. Each pot she created was a testament to her resilience and a reminder of the beauty that could emerge from pain. Her story inspired Kavi to view his own struggles as opportunities for growth and creativity. One particularly transformative moment came during a village gathering. A heated argument broke out over the allocation of communal resources. As tempers flared, Kavi felt his own anger rising. But instead of reacting impulsively, he remembered Master Kalpa's teachings. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward and proposed a compromise that addressed the concerns of all parties. His calm and thoughtful approach diffused the tension, earning him the respect of the villagers. Later that evening, Master Kalpa praised Kavi for his actions. "Today, you wove a thread of harmony into the web of this community. Never underestimate the power of a single thread, Kavi. It can bind or break, strengthen or weaken. The choice is always yours." From that day onward, Kavi's role in the village began to change. He became a source of guidance and support, helping others navigate their own karmic journeys. His web was far from complete, but it was no longer fragile or tangled. It was a work in progress, woven with care, intention, and a growing understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. One evening, Master Kalpa introduced Kavi to an ancient ritual known as the Mirror of Karma. Hidden deep within the temple's sanctum, the mirror was said to reveal not the reflection of one's physical appearance, but the essence of their actions and the ripples they created in the world. The inner sanctum was a place few had seen, lit only by flickering oil lamps that cast dancing shadows on the walls. The air was thick with the scent of incense and an almost palpable sense of mystery. At the center of the room stood the mirror. It was a massive disk of polished obsidian, encased in an ornate frame of gold and silver, carved with intricate symbols of balance, eternity, and transformation. The surface of the mirror seemed to pulse faintly, as if it held a life of its own. "This is not an ordinary object," Kalpa explained, as Kavi gazed at it in awe. "It does not show what you appear to be, but who you truly are. Are you ready to face it?" Kavi hesitated. His mind raced with doubts and fears. What if the mirror revealed a side of him he could not bear to confront? "Master," he said, his voice trembling, "what if I'm not ready? What if I cannot bear what I see?" Kalpa's gaze was steady, his tone reassuring. "No one is ever truly ready, Kavi, but the mirror does not judge. It teaches. The images you see will not condemn you. They will guide you. Trust in the process." Taking a deep breath, Kavi stepped forward. As he peered into the mirror, its surface darkened and began to ripple like water disturbed by a pebble. Slowly, images began to emerge. At first, they were faint and blurry, but soon they sharpened into vivid scenes from Kavi's life. He saw his mother's tear-streaked face after he had spoken harshly to her in a moment of frustration. He saw the disappointment in a friend's eyes when he had broken a promise. He saw a beggar he had ignored in his youth, his gaze filled with quiet despair. Each image was a thread in the tapestry of his life, and each one told a story of pain, neglect, or selfishness. Tears streamed down Kavi's face as he stepped back from the mirror. "Master, how can I undo the harm I've caused? How can I rewrite these threads?" Kalpa's voice was gentle but firm. "You cannot undo the past, Kavi, but you can mend its threads by weaving new ones of kindness, compassion, and integrity. The web of karma is ever-changing, and its threads can always be rewoven. Seek forgiveness where you can, and let your actions moving forward reflect the lessons you've learned." Over the following days, Kavi began the difficult process of making amends. He started with his mother, apologizing for the pain he had caused her. Her embrace was warm and forgiving, and for the first time in years, Kavi felt a weight lift from his heart. Next, he sought out his old friend, who listened to his apology with a mixture of surprise and gratitude. They shared a meal together, laughing over memories that had once been tainted by betrayal. But not all encounters were so easily resolved. A merchant he had deceived years ago refused to forgive him, her anger still fresh despite the passage of time. "Words won't undo what you've done," she said coldly, turning him away. Kavi left her shop feeling defeated but refused to give up. He returned the next day, bringing with him a small gift and a promise to repay what he had taken. Gradually, his consistent efforts began to soften her heart. Forgiveness came slowly, but it came, and with it, another thread of his web was mended. Each interaction, whether successful or not, taught Kavi valuable lessons about humility, patience, and the enduring nature of karma. He came to see the mirror not as a source of judgment, but as a tool for self-reflection and growth. Each image it showed was a thread in the tapestry of his life, a chance to mend what was broken and strengthen what remained. Inspired by Kavi's journey, the villagers began to embrace the ritual of the mirror. They gathered in the temple's sanctum to reflect on their own actions and share their experiences. The mirror became a symbol of communal learning and support, strengthening the bonds that held the village together. One evening, as Kavi stood before the mirror once more, he saw a different kind of image. It was a vision of a stranger, a traveler he had helped earlier that week by sharing his food and offering directions. The traveler's gratitude had been fleeting, but the mirror showed the ripple effect of that small act of kindness. The traveler had gone on to help another in need, and that person had done the same. The threads of karma wove themselves into an intricate pattern, revealing the profound impact of even the smallest choices. Master Kalpa joined Kavi, his eyes reflecting the soft glow of the mirror. "Do you see now, Kavi? Karma is not a ledger of debts and credits. It is a living web shaped by every thought, word, and deed. Each thread you weave influences the whole." Kavi nodded, his heart swelling with a mixture of awe and responsibility. "I see, Master, and I will strive to weave my threads with care." As the years passed, Kavi continued to grow under Kalpa's guidance. He became a pillar of the community, helping others navigate their own karmic journeys. The mirror of karma remained a central part of his life, a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of all actions. It reflected not just his past, but his potential, illuminating the path forward with its timeless wisdom. In time, Kavi's life became a testament to the teachings of Dharmapala. His web was not without its flaws, but it was strong, resilient, and ever-evolving. And as he stood before the mirror one final time, he saw not only the man he had been, but the man he had become, a weaver of light, compassion, and endless possibility.